I saw him at Lowe's, and I hear someone call, "Mo!" And I get a big hug. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, so we caught up on family and work, just general items. I don't know how we got to this conversation, but I had mentioned that I was toying with the idea of Toastmasters for a couple of years, but hadn't really pursued the idea. Well, that's when Dave Miller told me he was a member of this club. And that conversation started my journey here at Toastmasters. As Brad said in my introduction, I hadn't really given much thought beyond the CC certification of what the educational path meant to me. So because speech number 7 is research and I'm towards the end of my almost CC certification, thought it would be a good time to talk about what's next in my path. So you have in front of you this page, so let's take a look at this. And we're going to review both paths, educational paths that Toastmasters has to offer. In the advanced manuals, that there is a choice of 15, so I'm going to review the advanced manuals and share with you the ones that I'm going to choose. So let's look at the leadership track first. There are 3 separate categories for leadership. The first one is CL. And I'm going to tell you guys, we have not cracked the code on this CL manual. We talk about it all the time, but yet it's still elusive. So maybe after I share a few things with you, you might be a little more motivated to look at your CL manual. There are 44 tasks in that manual. Sounds like a lot, but 60% of them are things we do in here every day. Toastmaster, evaluator, even timer is something you get credit for in this manual. Now the other 40% are harder. They're speech contests and club events, that type of thing. But take a look at the manual. I think you'll be surprised at how quickly you can work through it. The advanced levels of the leadership track are bronze and silver. I've just given some high level of what the requirements are. I'm not going to review them. When you get to that point, please take a look at your CL manual. The other side is the communication track, and there are 4 categories there. The first one is CC. That's the manual we all work out of. And after you complete 10 speeches, you will be CC certified. When you hit the advanced track, it's bronze, silver, and gold. And again, the details are there for you to look at. And both tracks lead to the Distinguished Toastmaster, which is the highest designation here at Toastmasters. So as I complete my CC and look at advanced, there are 2 manuals that I will need to work through to get this certification. And each manual has 5 speeches in it. So let's take a look at the 15 options that are available. And let's just take a look at the 15 options that are available. And they're basically, in my opinion, 3 categories. One is business. There is speaking technically, speaking as a manager as examples there. The second option is basically Toastmaster type things, speaking to persuade, interpretive speaking. And then the third category is more personal. And I chose manuals out of the personal category. The first one is storytelling. And I knew instantly which ones I was going to choose. The first one is storytelling. I am fascinated by people who can tell a good story. People who can take that little nugget and develop it and turn it into a wonderful story. I'm fascinated by these people. I'm going to give you an example. I was Toastmaster during Women's History Month. And in between speeches, I was giving tidbits of information that people would typically consider specific to women. I talked about origin of high heels, also the bikini, that the bikini was created in the 1960s by 2 French designers. So we went through the meeting, we got to the table topics section. And I do not know what question was asked of Brad, but he did not answer it, I'll tell you that. He stood up and said, "Why does it take 2 people to design a bikini? Does one person do the top and one person do the bottom?" And you went on for 1 to 2 minutes on just a statement that I had made in the meeting. I was so impressed. And Brad, when my Toastmaster skills develop, I want to be just like you. The second manual that I chose is special occasion speaking. And this is because of one instance that obviously was significant to me. I was in Las Vegas My sister had just gotten married by an Elvis impersonator. We're not talking the 70s Elvis with the bedazzled jumpsuit. We're talking the 50s Elvis, slick back hair, golden age act. My sister and brother-in-law decided they wanted to go to the Harley-Davidson restaurant after the wedding. They're very traditional, as you can tell. So we went to the restaurant, we sat down, we ordered, everyone had their drinks, and they had their glasses up for a toast. So we're all sitting, there's 20 people, we're all sitting there, and they said, Maureen, you're with Toastmasters, why don't you give the toast? I didn't know what to say. I was truly, I was truly speechless. I didn't know what to say. And as I look back on it, I think the reason that I ended up reacting that way is because they said, you're in Toastmasters, why don't you give the speech? So people in their minds think that because we're part of this group, we know all what to say at every time. And I did not. So I'm choosing this manual, so I will have these types of speeches in my hip pockets. Eulogies, accepting awards, presenting awards, toasts is going to probably be my #1 speech. But that is why I chose this manual. So I have them in my hip pocket and I'll be ready for any instance. The title of my speech is, Where Am I Going? I have 3 speeches left before I complete my Competent Communicator certification. I have shared with you the 2 manuals that I'm going to choose. And I will be exigent in looking at my CL manual. In fact, I reread the first chapter of my CL manual, and it's very inspiring. I truly do think you guys should all reread the first chapter of that manual. And according to it, I will be, when I finish the manual, I will be a bold risk taker who is decisive and will be able to motivate people. I can hardly wait. And the reason I say that is this decisive part. The decisive part is choosing a speech topic is pure torture to me. Pure torture. In fact, the topic for this speech came from somebody else. It wasn't even my own idea. But when I complete the CL manual, I look forward to the potential of the fabulous and enthralling speeches I will be giving with my advanced manuals. Thank you.